Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I have for you a Crystron deck. Now I know I'm a little bit late to the party in covering this archetype. I feel like Playmaker did a very good job on this video, and but yeah, I wanted to get used to the deck before I went in and try to half explain what the deck does. And it's a really fun archetype. It's really strong. It's not as expensive as it seemed at the beginning, because of Crystron Sulfonier. He's kind of a one-off. I only have one, so I don't know how the deck would work with multiple in the deck. But thanks to Scrap Recycler, one copy is pretty much all you need, and you just need a Scrap Recycler to dump it into your grave. It also opens up a lot of plays because it gives you an extra monster on the field. So it's almost better than it's better having it in the deck than seeing this card in your hand. So maybe less is more in that sense with Crystron Sulfonier. The rest of the deck, I mean, you do need 3 Crystron Smyger, I believe, and I think Crystron Citri are the only other SRs. And then you of course need one of the Quarionga Drax. God, these names. But anyway, to go over the deck list, I'm using Beatdown just so our monsters can get over certain things, such as Blue Eyes, Ancient Gears, things like that. And because other than that, the deck didn't feel very skill reliant, so Beatdown's always a pretty safe bet. Like I said, we have one Crystron Sulfonier. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can discard one Crystron card except itself, special summon this card in defense position, then destroy one card you control. You can destroy itself, and that's kind of what you want to do. If this card in the field is destroyed by battle card effect, you can special summon one Crystron monster from your deck in defense position. You can only use each effect of Crystron Sulfonier once per turn. The cool thing is that it's a Crystron card, so you can use the trap for it, and that's actually why I run 2 of the trap, because it's really easy to add it to your hand thanks to Crystron Smyger. So most of the time I'm using this as a discard fodder for Sulfonier, and I use the effect from the graveyard instead of using it to special summon 2 tuners. But we'll get to that in a second. Next we have Crystron Smyger. You can target one face-up card you control. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the rest of this turn except machine type synchro monsters. Also destroy that card, and if you do, special summon one Crystron tuner from your deck. You can manage this card from your graveyard. Okay, so that's the end of that turn. So the deck thins a lot because, for example, if you want to get to your tuner off of Sulfonier eventually, you first want to summon either a Smyger or a Rosenix, and then use their effect to get to the tuner. That way you're thinning the deck, you're filling up your grave with a Crystron monster, which is gonna increase your synchro options and stuff like that. So before, at the beginning, I was going straight into something like Citri and then going into a level 7, and then as I started playing, I realized that it's better to keep thinning the deck with both Smyger and Rosenix. So that's one of the things you do. And then not the same, excuse me, where am I? You can manage this card from your graveyard, add one Crystron spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You can only use one effect per turn and only once that turn. So if you use the destruction effect, you can banish it from the grave to add a card. Sometimes I've made the mistake of forgetting about that, and then I'm trying to make a play, destroying this card, and it doesn't work. So that's the only thing to be careful about. Other than that, it's really good. If you don't have to wait a turn for this card to be in the graveyard, you can banish it immediately. You just can't use the other effect first. Scrap Recycler, normal summon or special summon, you send a Earth monster you send a machine type monster, excuse me, from your deck to the graveyard. Again, you're going to be targeting the Sulfonier. Crystron Citri, level 2 tuner. So the tuners I'm going to cover at once. We have Citri at level 2, Ryan at level 3, and then we have Quan at level 1. All of this allow you to special summon during your opponent's turn. Citri does it. Excuse me. All of them allow you to special summon during your opponent's turn. Just each use different materials. Citri uses monsters from the graveyard and banishes them. Ryan uses monsters from the banish pile and sends them back to the deck, and then Quan uses monsters in your hand. So being able to special summon your opponent's turn is very useful. It lets you dodge cards that are attacking or targeting the slower monsters. It helps you protect yourself with things such as Crystron Beatdown that will flip all special summon monsters into defense position. You can also summon a powered Insectron, and he will hold down the field because he cannot be destroyed by battle by card effect, and you also take no battle damage. So special summoning your opponent's turn, it's really strong. Other than that, I mean, they're level 3, level 2, level 1. And then we also have Ragequit. I'm trying to go fast, but there is kind of a lot to explain. It says you can target one face-up card you control and destroy it. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except machine type monsters. So exactly the same wording as Smyger. You destroy this, you special summon a tuner. It just has a different banishing effect. Once it's in the graveyard, you can banish it. To special summon a machine token. Yeah, machine token, level 1, water. That token is really good because you can use it to destroy. You can use it as destruction fodder for your Sulfonir. If you want to keep this on the field, you can destroy the token. You can destroy the token with Ragequit, special summon that tuner, as long as you're not doing it the same turn. You can also do it with Smyger. So that token is pretty useful and it's super clutch. That's why I think this card should be run at 3. And then the rest is just back row. We have 2 Cosmic Cyclone, and I'm running Pulse Mines because everything is a machine. So it's a really strong card to just protect yourself for basically a whole turn, keep your resources, and then go off during your turn. And then Crystron entry, like I said, this lets you special summon 2 Crystron tuners, one from your hand and one from the graveyard. But I like the fact that you can search this with Smyger, and then that just becomes fodder for your Sulfonir. But also you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Crystron monster you control, send one Crystron monster from your deck to the graveyard whose level is different from that monster, and if you do, that monster becomes the level of that monster sent to the graveyard. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this lets you manipulate what you can synchro into. It also lets you add fodder into the graveyard. It's a really cool effect. I use it occasionally, but mainly I run 2 copies just so I can have extra fodder for Sulfonir by banishing my Smyger. Extra deck, 2 level 9s, we have their boss, which you summon, you get to banish up to 3 monsters from your opponent's field or graveyard. Also, if it gets destroyed, you get to special summon anything that has been banished back onto the field, which is real good. 3000 attack, 3000 defense. Vermilion, you know what he does. Black Rose Dragon, you know what he does. We have Shogun Beret, level 7 machine, really good. The Powered Insectron that I already went over, and Crystron Beatdown, level 5. Special, when you summon it, it switches all special summon monsters into defense position. And when it gets destroyed, you can target one Crystron monster in your graveyard and special summon it. It just cannot be a synchro monster. Yeah, let's go ahead and show you some replays. And I do apologize for the very long deck explanation. Hopefully these duels don't take too long to explain. Some of you guys don't mind that, but some are definitely like, wow, 20-minute video, 8 minutes explaining, get on with it. But I'll try to put a timestamp somewhere. Alright, so we're going first. I'm going to summon Ragequit, activate the effect, destroy Ragequit, and set a Citri. This time I'm actually thinking about using my Crystron entry because I have a tuner in my hand, and I don't mind letting him destroy my Citri. He's gonna activate Nightshade, so the dream ends there. He destroys my Crystron entry. So now I have to go with my original play. Special summon the Ragequit. By the way, the monster that you summon to synchro with does not have to be a Crystron monster. It can be any monster. It just has its effect negated when it lands on the field. So he doesn't attack my Powered Insectron because it wasn't gonna get destroyed by battle. And it was better than letting him destroy my Citri because I didn't want him to search for a second Neos Fusion. Alright, so we're gonna go Sulfonir, special summon Smyger, destroy the Scrap Tuner. It really didn't matter how I did it. I could have destroyed the Smyger and kept it to the Scrap Recycler. I mean, they're both level 3. Now I'm gonna banish to make one of them a level 4, so I can go into my beret, level 7 beret, and I have 2 monsters, meaning I can attack over this Neos Fusion, which was kind of my objective from the beginning, and we still have the Pulse Mines. So it sets a monster. I'm going to use my Smyger to search for the trap card. That gives, now I have fodder for my Sulfoneer. So that's really how I like using this card, as you see. We're going to destroy itself to summon a level 2 tuner that allows me to go into Vermilion Dragon. I can pop the face down monster in case it's a threat, and it turns out it's Obnoxious Celtic Guardian, so I had to destroy it through card effect. Otherwise, the best I could have done was flip him face up with Beret and then attack over it to do damage. But I didn't want to flip him because Neos Fusion decks usually have either Sasanks or Gale Lizards, stuff like that. That's why I didn't want to attack into it and just went into Vermilion, destroyed it face down, and got the win. Alright, here we got a Bandit Keith. This was a very long drawn out match. We have Scrapper Recycler, so we're gonna go ahead and send Sulfoneer, destroy itself with special summon the Smyger. Smyger is going to destroy itself. This special summon the Quan, and I did this because I wanted to special summon the Amatrix. Is that the name? I think that's the name. The level 5, and I have level 4 in my hand, so he's gonna Cosmic Cyclone my Pulse Mines. I'm gonna go ahead and activate it. That's gonna let me keep my field safe, or so I thought. But the guy's gonna switcheroo into a Lava Golem, or I think he had the Lava Golem prior to that. But that's fine. I can always destroy the Lava Golem using Rosnix. We're gonna banish Smyger to get the trap. And I wanted to see if this was a floodgate, so I could feel the delay. And then I wanted to see if once I synchro summon, and when I was only controlling one monster, if there was gonna be a delay. I think the delay went away after I synchro summoned, so I was pretty sure that this was a treacherous now. Hitting for 28, he's down to 200 life. I was feeling pretty confident here, but he does make a pushback. Gonna add Cyber Dark Edge, go for the direct attack, send a Bacon Saver, so now he's got protection. And I know he has a treacherous. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to force the treacherous by going for a Vermilion Dragon mech. He does activate treacherous right there, which helps me out. And he did it correctly by not waiting for me to banish something. Otherwise, I would have gained a resource back. So he just did it immediately. I still have my normal summon, so we're gonna summon Rosnix. Set the Pulse Mines. There's Karibo number 1. Cyber Dark Edge is gonna attack me directly, or attempt to. I decide to just use my Pulse Mines. Special summon Sulfoneer. Sulfoneer is gonna summon Smyger. I'm gonna use the Rosnix in the grave to get a token, excuse me, and then use my Smyger's effect to special summon a tuner. Going to my Crystron Amatrix, and just so I could have 2 monsters and attack over the Bacon Saber, but he had another Sphere Karibo. So luckily for me, he doesn't get another Cyber Dark Edge and decides not to attack directly, just destroy my monster. I'm gonna banish his Bluff Cosmic Cyclone and finally hit him for the remaining 200 life that he had. But yeah, I saved this one because you saw the token interaction, which I think it's really good. That's why I like Rosnix a lot in the deck. Besides it being level 4 and giving you access to level 7 synchros without having to use your Sulfoneer with Citri and then, you know, losing that resource. Alright, this time we're going second. And this was a pretty funny rage quit for my opponent. He's gonna go for Onslaught, Amazon's Princess. Pretty normal stuff, things we've seen before. Sets 2 back row. I have a Cosmic Cyclone, but I don't wanna use it blindly. I obviously wanna save this for the Onslaught. So my turn 1 play, it's not gonna be that great. We're just gonna use Sulfoneer, get a Rosnix to the field, special summon or Crystron Ryan, and now that I have a Smyger in the graveyard, I want to banish him, that way I can summon my Smiger with my Ryan. Remember, Ryan summons from the banish pile, C3 summons from the graveyard. And then I have my fodder for the Sulfonier next turn. So he's gonna attack. I'm just waiting for the Amazoness Onslaught to flip. Now I can banish it. He's gonna special summon off of Onslaught. And that's completely fine because all I need to do is keep this level 6 monster on the field. That's all I'm looking for. And he can't do anything to destroy it. He would have to banish it. But he already lost his Onslaught, so I'm pretty safe. Insector in defense position. He attacks. Decides to go with Princess and get a Queen on the board. So that's even better for me. All I have to do is special summon Sulfonier using the resource I gained last turn by banishing my guy. Destroy itself, special summon my level 1 tuner, and you already know what's coming. Black Rose Dragon. Wipe out the field, 3 monsters and 2 back row. My opponent wanted nothing of it. He immediately scoops. After that, I still had my normal summon, so I could go into my Rose Nyx, set up a Pulse Mines, and he was down to whatever he was drawing the next turn. So it was a nice Ragequit. I wish he would have stayed just so I could have kept making plays, but it is what it is. Alright, now we have Alexis. We're going second. I still haven't decided whether I want to go first or second with this deck. I feel like it's pretty good on both. My opponent here is gonna turn 1 Gear Town, special summon a reactor in defense position. So I have to get rid of that reactor. My plan is to just go into a level 5. This is a special summon monster, so once he goes into the battle phase, I'll special summon my Crystron, switch this into defense position, and I'm actually going to use my Crystron entry. So special summon that, go for the Amatrix, switch that into defense. Scrap Recycler, pretty clutch off the top. This is gonna let me go for my Sulfonier, special summon a level 3 Synchro, and go for a powered Insectron. So this gives me 2 monsters. Thanks to Beatdown, I can get over that 3000 reactor, hit him for 31, and I have a Cosmic Cyclone that I can use when he decides to banish his Galaxy Cyclone to destroy this. But he goes for the obvious bait, which is normal summon Wyvern, set a back row, screaming treacherous trap hole, right? So we're just gonna Cosmic Cyclone that in the end phase. We see the treacherous being banished and then the insta scoop. So either way, we're pretty safe there with our Cosmic Cyclone. It would have forced my Cosmic Cyclone, you know, him trying to summon off of Galaxy, and then he would have been able to treacherous. But at that point, I have plenty of resources in the graveyard to try to go for a play. Alright, going second. And I know I still haven't summoned the big boy in the video, so you're gonna see it today. This is great. I'm gonna destroy my Sulfonier, get a level 3 on the board, normal summon my Rose Nyx. So the thing about this is you have to understand. I know I said normally you don't want to go into your tuner off of Sulfonier right away, but the tuners, I mean the Rose Nyx and the other guy, Smiger, they have a restriction of only allowing you to special summon machine synchro monsters the turn you activate their effect. Sulfonier does not have that, so that lets me go into turn 1 Black Rose Dragon, and we'll destroy the Fuma, a Dojo, and 2 Return of the 6th Samurai. I'm gonna special summon a token using the Rose Nyx in the graveyard, just so my Pulse Mines is live. But I actually decided not to even use the Pulse Lines because there's not a huge threat on my life points. A special summon Smiger. Smiger's gonna pop itself to special summon a Ryan. Now we can go for another level 7 Synchro, this time Shogun Beret. And we're gonna hit that Kisan. He goes for Inishi right here, bouncing my Beret back. I could have used my Pulse Mines and protected my life, but I decided to just keep this. because this is not a huge threat. I mean, he has no more fodder in the graveyard to bounce anything back, and that's a 500 attack monster. It's pretty easy to get over. So I just take this damage. We're gonna activate Smyger to get our trap. Our trap is going to be fodder for our Sulfoneer, and this time we special summon a token again so that we can destroy this with our Sulfoneer's effect. Normal summon the Smyger, and all I'm trying to do here is set up a play for next turn. Obviously I can't activate the effect of Smyger anymore because I already banished it to get a trap, but I have a Pulse Mine, so he's not going to be able to destroy this, and I'm setting up my big boy next turn. So he gets another Nishi, we're going to activate Pulse Mines. He scoops before I do it, so I'm going to pause it. Here's my level 2 tuner. All I have to do is activate Smyger's effect, destroy itself, special summon another Seed Tree. That's 2 tuners and a level 5 for a level 9 boss synchro. But before I even get to do that, he scoops. That would have banished both the Nishi and attacked directly for game. Feels bad that it took that away from me, but at least you get to see how you go for the big boy. So yeah, I like the fact that this deck has a lot of play. At first I thought it was just gonna be, you know, big boy span, kind of a one-trick pony, but it does have a lot of depth. It's very fun to use, although a little complicated to get started. But after a few games, you should pick it up and definitely try it. I think it's really fun. That's gonna be it for me though. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description. Along my PayPal link, you guys gonna support my channel, support my content. Really appreciate that. And until next time.